I've spoken to hundreds of physiotherapists and health professionals globally after I grew a following of over 250,000 followers under PhysioBay on TikTok. And the one thing that kept coming up into conversation was, how can I hit $200,000 a year, working only 3 days a week, so I can get a work-life balance of having more time for passions, friends, and family? And the biggest thing with all of this is that you can actually do this in this day and age with something called the internet and social media. The biggest thing that I preach with all the clients that I'm working with right now is building a hybrid practice, which is stacking an in-person clinic with the online digital space. Now, if you don't know who I am, if you're new here, my name's Av. I was a physio and clinic owner for the last 10 years. I grew a following to over 250,000 followers on TikTok. And since then, I've been helping health professionals build private practices, digital health businesses, and hybrid practices so they can start to earn more and work less. In this day and age, you can reach hundreds, if not thousands of people online, making a positive impact in people's lives. And if you as a physiotherapist, as a health professional, want to make the biggest impact that you can to change people's lives, online is where you need to be. There was a recent study released that 80% of people get their health information from social media. And if you aren't where the people are, then you can't make the impact that you want to make. You're going to be earning at best 95 to 100K a year, regardless of your experience or qualifications. I think the biggest misconception that I've seen that a lot of physios have is that the more that I upskill, the more certifications I have under my belt, the more that I can get paid. When in reality, I'm speaking to physios who are 20 years in the game, got specialist degrees under their belt, and they're still earning only 85, 95, 100K max with their current jobs. This is in Australia. I'm sure it's different in the UK, Canada, but generally, we don't get paid much for the 5 years of study that we sacrifice and the $120,000 plus more of student debt that we get into to become a physiotherapist and health professional. So is it possible to earn $200,000 as a traditional physio? Probably not. And if anything, it's probably almost impossible. The most you can probably get to is around $130,000 a year. And that's if you get there, right? If the opportunity presents itself. The other route you can go into is obviously starting your own private practice, going the traditional route of scaling that clinic and then opening multiple clinics. But that has so many flaws and faults as well. And I actually released a masterclass 2 weeks ago, if you want to get into it, breaking down the faults and flaws in the traditional physiotherapy model of the private practice side, the traditional path of physiotherapists, and why the hybrid practice, this hybrid model of leveraging in-person and online, is going to be where the future is for health professionals who want to stay in the game for a long time, earn more and essentially work less. And if you'd like to watch that masterclass, there's been over 100 downloads since I released it. I'll leave the link below. It's completely free for you to watch, and I've only gotten positive feedback from it, so I hope you enjoy that as well. So what I want to focus this video on today is understanding what this online space looks like. So you're probably a physio right now who's working maybe 4 to 5 days in a private practice clinic full-time, or maybe you're working part-time in a clinic and you're trying to build something on the side with content, or maybe you've tried in the online coaching space before. This is how you can scale your hybrid practice in person and online, or purely online, to over $200,000 a year. Now, to give you a really quick snapshot of what this looks like, a hybrid practice to make $200,000 a year is simply 16 patients per week, working 3 days a week at $100 per session, with 10 clients online paying you $1,000 a month, or 20 clients online paying you $500 a month. In total, you're going to make around $203,000 just purely from 16 patients in person and 10 clients at $1,000 or 20 clients at $500. And now you're earning more than 90% of physios, and you have the flexibility for other things that you want to do. Now, I want to be super clear with this online space and that this is not telehealth. And I think a lot of the physios that get into this online space think that they just go into, online physiotherapy, they provide telehealth, and that's how they can scale past that time. And like I say over and over again in my content, the reason why you're capped at your pay, the reason why you're lacking career progression is because you're capped by trading time for money. You're not scaling past your time. You keep trading one-to-one instead of one-to-many. So the only way for you to scale past your time is to serve people on a bigger scale. And telehealth is simply just taking one-to-one in person to one-to-one online. So essentially, there's no more leverage that you have doing telehealth online. If anything, you're making life harder for yourself because you're putting in-person work into online work. Instead, what you want to do as a physiotherapist is you want to go online and start an online coaching business, an online coaching program, helping others transform their health, whether it's mental or physical, with transformations you've done yourself or things that you've done for clients over and over again. And by being able to get into this online coaching space as a physiotherapist, you're able then to leverage a offer or some sort of solution to 1,000 people who have the exact same problems. And this is how you go from one-to-one to one-to-many. Now, if you don't know where to start with your coaching program, the easiest place to start, like I tell all my clients, is start with the younger version of yourself. Whether it's you 5 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe you were able to rehab your hamstring to full health in a really awesome way, and you went back to maybe professional soccer, for example, or maybe you lost 10 kilos in 12 weeks, or maybe you were able to get super strong ankles for basketball, right? Whatever the transformations you've done for yourself in the health and fitness umbrella is what you're going to be teaching others to do the same. Another way to go about it is if you, let's say hypothetically, haven't found yourself doing anything significant transformation-wise for yourself in health and fitness, find something you've done over and over again for clients that you keep seeing results for. Maybe you're constantly helping clients get, really strong knees to go back into the basketball season. Maybe you're amazing at getting people to jump higher. Whatever it is, it's either a younger version of yourself or something you've been providing for clients over and over again that you can do with your eyes closed, is the easiest place to start for your coaching business. Why? Because you've already lived these experiences. You understand the deep pain points of these experiences, and therefore you can provide solutions to things that actually matter. The biggest mistake that I see when physiotherapists try to get online into an online health business, online coaching business, is that they try to go into these very broad general markets of weight loss or nutrition, or some even going into like bodybuilding, right? It's very general type coaching that the coaching space doesn't need anymore. And the next question I get after this from most of the conversations that I have with physios is, who's going to pay me $1,000 a month? Who's going to pay me $500 a month from what I'm providing? I feel like a scammer. I feel like I'm charging way too much, this and this. A really common pattern that I'm seeing with the health professionals in general is the amount of money and price objections that we have for charging for our services. We're very, we're very generous people, and we want to be able to help people. But the mindset switch I want you to kind of take for yourself is that by charging higher prices, you actually also help the patient to value their health a lot more. And I created a content piece about this the other day on my Instagram, where I was speaking about how charging higher prices essentially allows your patient to value the exercise programs that you give them, the rehab plans that you give them, and therefore they then execute and are more accountable to do these exercise programs daily. Because of the fact that people naturally, if they have a higher emotional investment or monetary investment into something, they're going to value that more. It's almost like why you buy a $2,000 iPhone and then you buy a $100, $200 iPhone case to protect it. So first off, you need to get over that money objection, that price objection that you have for yourself. And number one is charge what you're worth. Secondly, do I charge $1,000 or do I charge $500 a month? It really depends on the ideal client you're serving. Ideally, if the pain point that you're serving is deep enough, people will pay. If you're helping, youth athletes get into pro sports and you're helping them with their performance outcomes, and let's say your coaching gets someone from amateur athlete to pro athlete, that is a huge transformation you're providing, right? $1,000 a month for sure, easy, right? The emotional investment of working with someone or working with yourself to get me from amateur to pro athlete is huge. Like I would pay however you would want me to pay, how much you ever want me to pay to get into my dreams of playing pro sports and signing big deals and big contracts. So it's about understanding first who it is you're serving and what's their capacity and what does that market look like. On the other hand, if you are serving students, for example, if you're someone who wants to help students with productivity and study, getting into, maybe a physiotherapy degree. I'm working with someone right now who wants to help students in high school get into physiotherapy degrees in uni, right? So his demographic obviously doesn't have amazing amounts of money, but there is a certain price point that it's still worth his time to provide his services, and you can still charge what you want, right? You're $500 a month, potentially even maybe $450 a month, $400 a month. So again, it depends on first who are you serving, how deep are their problems, how deep is their pains, and the deeper the pain, the more that you can charge, the more you can put a price tag on top of that, because it's pains that you're solving that's changing their life. So now that we understand we're going to scale online with an online coaching business, we're going to serve a younger version of ourselves, or provide a solution that we've been providing over and over again to thousands of clients. Once we understand that, we now understand how much we're going to be pricing, right? We're going to charge maybe $1,000 a month or maybe $500 a month, depending on the person you're serving. Once you figure that out, how are we delivering this? Again, this is not telehealth. We're not going online and doing one-to-one consults. We're going online and going one-to-many. And the downfall or the pain point that I see a lot with physios who want to go into this online coaching space is that they try to take on as many clients as possible. They try to take on clients who are at different stages of maybe their rehab journey or their maybe performance journey as an athlete. And what tends to happen is that you have so many different stages of people in your coaching program that it's hard to actually provide and deliver, because because everything is so custom to each individual. So once you start to get into your 30, 40, 50 clients, maybe even 60 clients, it becomes really overwhelming. The easier way to do this is to actually deliver for one type of person. Again, if it's a younger version of yourself or someone you've been providing services for over and over again, who is that one person? Because when you start to attract 50, 60 people of the same kind who have the same problems, they're in the same situations, you can start to serve one-to-many. You can start to create trainings and modules that speak to everyone. You can, instead of having one-to-one check-ins a week, you can have group check-ins a week, right? In group settings. And if you really look at, the success that people have with whatever it is they're chasing, in a group setting where they're surrounded by like-minded individuals, it gives them the accountability and also the community to give them the support they need to get over the line. So what you're providing by serving one person is two things: easier deliverability for yourself, so you can scale to 60 to 100 members in your coaching program easily. And secondly, you're giving people a community that they can relate to and speak to people on the same journey as they are. So therefore, they can support each other without having the need from your support through your coaching program, again, which then makes delivery so much easier for you. So this is the biggest, I guess you could say, secret sauce in scaling an online coaching business on top of your clinic. And the way that you scale past your time is serving one person and gathering 50, 60, 100 people with the same problem and going one-to-many with your delivery. So now that you've got 20 clients paying you at $500 a month, and now you have an in-person clinic where you have 16 patients a week, you're charging $100 per session. Now you have a business that's doing over $200,000 a year with the time freedom to do what you want on the days that you aren't in clinic. Heck, you can even go full-time into your online business when it gets to a point that it starts to crack maybe the 15, 20, 30K mark online, $30,000 a month online. You can start to look into maybe going full-time into your online coaching business, your online health business, and leave the actual clinic behind. And that's essentially what I did. When I sold my practice, I wanted to go full-time online. I just recently came back from a 3.5, 4-week travel in Europe, and it was amazing. I was still working overseas. I was still getting paid, still being able to run the business from overseas. And it was just the flexibility and freedom that I've always wanted as a physiotherapist. And also the way that physiotherapy is changing, a lot of people now are being more proactive with their health. They're wanting to self-manage their health, and they want to learn from experts that they find online. And you can be that expert. So to sum it all up, $200,000 a year, 3 days a week, more work-life balance for passion, family, and friends, in-person clinic, online business, create a hybrid practice, and that's the best place to start. Again, if you want to go into depth of what this looks like, the leverages, how this breaks down, how you can even get started with all of this, there's a masterclass I created below. It's got over 100 downloads since I've released it in the last 2 weeks. So feel free to go grab that. That's free for yours, for your consumption as well. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Thank you as always. Peace.